Good morning, Phuntsok.
Good morning, Mark.
How are you, sir?
Another day in paradise.
It is indeed.
Glad to be here. Happy to be here. Good to see you.
You too. You too. It's been a little bit, a few days at least, I know. I woke up breathing. My blood was warm in my veins. I heard birds outside my window. And I thought, what a great day to be alive. We're not guaranteed every day, are we?
Love that. That's a good reflection.
Are you feeling good to be alive?
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
Every day. Even grateful before going to bed.
Mm.
But I like the way you said that every morning when you wake up, you feel grateful and be in that presence, feel that aliveness.
Mm.
And I cannot describe, but I know what you're saying. And that's very important because right from the get-go, when you wake up, we are in this autopilot mode of rushing and doing. Mm-hmm. And we have to sometimes pause. Here I have to pause and let you continue.
That's kind of what Tibet USA has been really good for me for is the pause in my week. We see each other almost every week when we're recording, and we have our lives and our personal lives and personal ambitions and our work responsibilities. And then we come here, and for a couple hours every week, we get to tune all of that out and listen to what I think is the true people in us that the world is trying to kind of stifle all the time, or that we allow ourselves to stifle by our pursuits, which we need to have pursuits, right? Got to make money, got to keep relationships going with investing time and energy. But it really does feel nice to just sit down and not have other people telling us what we need to do or think right now. I like that.
It's kind of a meditative in a way. Be in the present moment and talk. And it's... Yeah, I know what you're saying. So that's why I come here to do this podcast, is to be in that energy vibration. Yeah. And you and I resonate. We have a good karma. We have this vibration is good. That's why we are doing what we're doing. And I hope this will, have a great impact, a positive impact for others who are listening, because our intention of coming here and doing this is for ourselves as well as to get better at the same time, share the good stuffs that we could share.
Yeah. Thinking about, I was trying to think of a joke in there, but I don't have one, so maybe it's better that I don't.
What?
Because my jokes aren't funny. Something happens when we press record that I kind of turn into somebody else. I don't know if anyone else out there knows what I'm talking about. But I know my family thinks my jokes are not funny half the time. And I don't know if you think my jokes are funny. I'm just going to stop.
Oh.
I'm going to stop. But yeah, I'm in a kind of a reflective mood. Because it was about a year ago that we started Tibet USA, Phuntsok. It was about a year ago.
Wow.
Early October was our very first episode in 2024. Mm-hmm. And we're kind of around that time right now, getting close to it. So as much as we don't like to timestamp things, I'm looking back at about a year of doing this podcast with you, and it's been such a journey for me as a friend, as a business collaborator, as a content creator, as a citizen of Minnesota, and a friend and neighbor to to you and a lot of other people in my neighborhood. And our conversations have helped me understand where I am or who I am, I think, in a cool way. I feel like I know myself better. And I know the world that I'm fitting into better through our weekly check-ins.
Well said. Well said. I have something came up in my mind. It's another joke, but I also don't don't want to say that.
Dear listener, you got to know that the smirk on Phuntsok's face right now is classic Phuntsok. Like he has just the gem of a nugget of a joke, just waiting to burst out, and he's holding it back.
No, it's a process. This journey has been a very enriching experience for both of us. But let me speak for myself. Mm-hmm. It's not easy, but the commitment, the trust, the intention has held this up, and then we keep doing it, and it's now almost a year now. Mm-hmm. And through the journey, we have learned a lot while trying to put this content out to share. We are also in our own journey of learning patience, how to understand the other. It's not one solo person doing a podcast. It's two people talking.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes it's two people talking. There it is. Do you want to hear some names of our podcast that we were considering, or that at least I wrote down to talk to you about before we landed on Tibet USA?
Correct. Go ahead.
You want to hear them?
Yeah.
I was looking at my notes from a year ago.
Okay, I have no clue what.
No, I know. So we had all kinds of titles going back and forth. And this is embarrassing because none of them fit. Right. Mm-hmm. But at the time, I didn't know. We don't know. We didn't know what we were going to be. So,
right.
In sync with life was one. Okay. Become aware. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mind and dimensions beyond.
Wow.
That sounded pretty wild.
Sounds like I have influenced a lot, huh?
Freeing mind by being aware.
Wow.
These are all really long. Here's one probably was actually a contender for me. I really liked it. Mm-hmm. It was a bit long, but it really spoke to me. It was, and I'm being honest, it was called Journey to a Spacious Dimension.
Wow.
I think that might have been yours, one that you came up with.
All of these names, it seems like I suggested them.
Oh, no, some of these were mine, trust me. Mm. Awakened Minds was another one. Mm-hmm. And then I think the earliest iteration of Tibet USA was Tibet USA Exploring the Pathless Land, which is kind of cool. The Pathless Land.
Pathless Land. Can I jump in?
Jump.
It's there's this book written by Jiddu Krishnamurti, Indian philosopher or a saint, I should say. He said, "The truth is a pathless land." That's where I think.
That's where that came from.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Another title I thought was The Tall, Handsome German American and the other guy.
There you go.
I don't think that really had the legs, you would have shut that down. I think,
all of these mindfulness meditation and trying to bring Mark's mind in that stillness, which is pure, complete, peaceful,
garbage,
ego-free. All these attempts been gone in vain now.
It has broken you. These attempts have broken Phuntsok. He's a broken man. He's lost. I love you, man. Thank you for putting up with all my shit.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
I love it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mark. All I can say is that I don't care what other people say about you, but But you are a very creative person. On a serious note, really creative person, and we are jamming really good. Not that I'm not creative. It's just that that calmness, that stillness, that dimension that I'm hinting and trying to take you into. Not that you haven't reached there or I've already reached there. It's just that it's new to you at the beginning when we met.
Still is.
Even though you have a concept of what meditation is, but I was telling you from the get-go, from the beginning, that it's not really popular. The majority of the people are going in this direction, and I feel like I'm going the opposite direction when I'm saying, pause your mind, stop this chatter mind, tap into this dimension, in that stillness, in that quiet, and that stillness, which is without thoughts. There's this dimension, Mark, you can tap into. This where that dimension is complete. Peace. Ego-free, as I said. This dimension is infinite, very spacious. There's this dimension. And I keep saying this over the last so many episodes.
Yeah.
And that's not the direction the world is going. That's the path less traveled. And I see that, and this is my way of doing a reality check of, but somehow you felt, even though, excuse me, you said you have not meditated, but you were saying that I can somehow kind of can connect and understand what you meant, but I may not agree, but so this is where Tibet USA podcast, how it grew, that I have something to share and you have something to share and we both have something to share, and we wanted to share it to the world, put it out there, so that people can comment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of which, I think we have a few listeners who've been sharing our content out on their channels and recognizing the work that we do, and we're super thankful for that.
I really wanted to thank everyone who shared Tibet USA podcast on their social media platforms. Mm-hmm. While we cannot mention each of you individually today, please know that we sincerely appreciate your support. Amongst our subscribers is my longtime friend from my school days in India at CST, Missouri, Kelsang Tsomo. And I recently noticed that she has been sharing our Tibet USA podcast on her Facebook page for quite some time, and leaving an inspiring comment on YouTube recently.
Cool.
Thank you so much for listening and supporting us.
Kelsang, thank you so
Kelsang
much.
Tsomo. Just know, Kelsang, you're beautiful inside and out, and a truly wonderful soul, like an angel. And there's another Kelsang. Kelsang Kyo is a realtor in Minnesota with Integrity Reality. And I've seen her share our podcast on her WeChat group and WhatsApp group. And we wanted, Mark and I really wanted to thank you for sharing our podcast on social media platforms like that. She's actually a key figure in Tibetan community in Minnesota. She continues to be supportive and inspiring.
Wonderful. Thank you, both of you, for sharing. And one thing I love about you, Phuntsok, is you are still very connected to your roots in India. And I appreciate and respect your investment in the Tibetan community here in Minnesota. And just from a community standpoint, I think that's very admirable. It keeps you accountable. It keeps the conversation real that you have with people. And I think it keeps your heart away from, it can keep our heart away from bitterness or feeling separated from, people that you know so well on a cultural level, and especially when a homeland is not in existence, and so you need that community outside of, in the absence of Tibet being a free, independent country. So, not getting political, but I think it's just a reality. So I recognize that in you. And Kalsang, the realtor here in Minnesota, thank you for sharing. And Kalsang?
Someone from Toronto. How do you say Toronto?
Yeah.
They say, how do you say in Toronto?
I think the Canadians say Toronto.
Toronto. I used to say Toronto.
Minnesotans, I think, will say Toronto.
Toronto.
We're a hard T. But I think the Canadians are say Toronto.
Shout out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Paging back a little bit to meditation, I wanted to touch on real briefly what we're doing with the mindfulness meditation series. Can we address that real quick for people that don't know what that is, and just to kind of inform our listeners? Well, it looks like you're doing something different now. Well, it looks a bit that way, but I think it's very coherent to what we've been trying to do all along. And I know it's kind of your, partly your vision that brought it into form. So what is that? What is the mindfulness meditation series, Phuntsok?
In my previous, our Tibet USA's previous mindfulness meditation series, I emphasize too much on preparation. Before diving into meditation itself, I kept returning to the importance of building a stable foundation, again and again. It says, before we jump into the meditation, before we dive into meditation, I keep saying that, remember? It's only that with the foundation, with the good foundation, solid foundation, foundation can take a real meditation. You okay?
Good. Yes, thank you.
Only with that foundation can real meditation take root. And once it does, the fruits of meditation naturally begin to appear. So
the meditation series that we're doing, mindfulness meditation series, are that piece of information and
preparation.
Give listeners tools,
foundational,
to take that meditation to another level that you've been referring to for over a year, right? Like, hey, if you don't have a foundation, what good is practicing? Here are some foundational aspects, right?
Yeah.
We've had 2 episodes, mindfulness meditation series, and we're going to keep making them. We're going to kind of pepper them into our regular Tibet USA conversational podcasts that are the backbone of what we do together.
Beautiful.
But I think that's a really great move. I love it. So
let's say, I'll just speak for myself.
Yeah.
When we try asking our mind to be completely quiet for 1 minute, without a single thought, notice what happens.
It's hard, dude.
For most of us, the mind resists, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't know how to rest in stillness, because it's been conditioned to keep moving endlessly, running on autopilot without a pause. So for that kind of mind, why it's like that? So we hit a singing bowl and sit quiet or chant a mantra in the morning, and then it's not working. It's not going to work because we didn't clean up the mess. We didn't lay a good foundation. Is that what they say? Mm-hmm. We haven't laid a foundation yet. So there are so many things not so many things, but there are important things to prepare before we dive into meditation. That's why Tibet USA podcast, in our mindfulness series, we wanted to touch on those. You're going to hit a singing bowl?
No, I'm just putting it down.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So
I got you off track. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. So
that happens, listener. I get Phuntsok off track. It's my active mind that I can't settle down.
So when we, that's what I meant. That's what I meant is that when we quiet our mind within that stillness, there is a dimension that feels, like I said before, spacious. infinite. And it's fully awake with clarity. A state that is, free of, longing or free of ego, that no power or because. So what I'm trying to say is that dimension, Mark, can only be discovered when the chatter of the mind falls silent. When the mind, quietens. Is it quietens or quiet?
Quiet?
I don't know. There's no thoughts coming and going, and that opening the way to enter the depth of stillness. When the chatter mind, the monkey mind, go ahead.
Enter the depths of stillness. That's huge. I love that.
There is this dimension that is not
enter the depths of stillness.
Explored, or not popularly. It's not popular, but it's less traveled, less explored.
Because it's not easy. It means you have to work. You can't just sit and be quiet and then get up and expect everything to be cool again.
So what this reveals, what this tells us, is that the mind is running us. Mm-hmm. We are being used by the mind. See, rather than using it as a tool, we forget that the mind is meant to be our tool.
Yeah.
This extraordinary gift of human mind, when left unchecked, we can feel less like a blessing and more like a burden. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have these burnouts and stress and all of that. So in no way I dismiss the mind. I'm not negating the mind. Mind is all we have, right? Mm-hmm. But when we learn to use this tool, this mind as a tool, wisely, and creating a space for meditation and opening into the deeper dimensions that only human mind can access, mm-hmm. It is as if, we discovered a secret key. I recently was watching a Netflix series. It's a reality show. Am I going too long, or should I stop here? You have something to say?
No, I'm listening.
Really?
Yeah.
So imagine a reality...
Really? He says, I'm looking right at you.
Imagine a reality show where all the players are so absorbed in their roles that they forget.
Is this Love Island? What is this?
It's called... It's a reality show. It's okay. So roles that we forget.
He doesn't want to say what he's watching. No, I'm sorry. Keep interrupting.
So their roles, they're so identified with their roles, they forget that it's only a performance. But then one player stumbles upon this hidden key and steps out and becomes the true winner. And I was using that analogy in our real life. In the same way, we come to see with the hindsight that life itself is just a play, a drama of karma, we call it, in which we are cast as an actors. When we discover the secret key within, mm-hmm. You with me, Mark?
I am.
We are free. We free ourselves from identifications with those roles, and awaken to true liberation, if there is a liberation.
You got me thinking about a William Shakespeare quote, mm-hmm. About life is all the world's a stage. Mm-hmm. Do you know that quote from one of his plays? You don't.
I kind of.
I'm trying to look it up right now, listener. Yeah. Like annoying. We'll probably end up cutting this out.
But this path, since you brought this quote, so while you're looking,
here I found it. It's from William Shakespeare's play, "As You Like It." Mm-hmm. It's a monologue, and it goes like this. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwilling to school. Then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad, made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths, and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice. Turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Ooh, that's deep. Shakespeare, huh?
That is horrifying.
Have you read a lot of books
I've read a couple books in my
from
life.
Shakespeare? Yeah. You know him well?
I know him a little bit.
Is he a believer?
A Christian?
I don't know. Believer in something?
Well, he was writing and living in England in the 14 and 1500s. Mm-hmm. So he was probably from the Christian tradition in England at the time. Very well aware of the Bible and God and Jesus. But it was probably more of a formality than I'm not sure what he believed. People are learning about him all the time. Mm-hmm. My wife Freya is a huge fan of Shakespeare and always has been. So it's my proximity to her.
I thought you were going to say she's Shakespeare's first cousin or something.
No. But she appreciates Shakespeare, and I think she's helped me appreciate him.
Okay, good. I just was curious to, thanks for reading that poem.
Wow, yeah.
I wanted to see what inspired Shakespeare. Maybe nature, maybe culture, maybe...
A lot of it. Human nature. He is one of the foremost documentarians of human nature. He understood human nature on a level that very few people have over the ages. And his ability to tap into what a human being's motivation is and how they work to achieve their ends within their social structure and the emotions that they have and their ambitions and their problems and how all of these things come together within a story is his gift. He really understands the human heart.
Well, Shakespeare is great in his waking state, but Phuntsok is good in his dream state.
Yeah! Yes!
I'm just...
Get out of the road, Shakespeare. You're old
kidding.
News.
No,
Phuntsok is
that's another way of using the tool, the mind as a tool, and then be creative and be good to the society, and you contribute to the society through your insights. Beautiful.
I think that's the quote of this episode is, Shakespeare might have been good in his waking state, but
dream state is something else.
Dream state, he's just a schlab.
It's different. I don't know. Maybe he's writing. His inspiration is from the dream state. That's what. But anyway,
he was a deep thinker, and the more you read his stuff, it is so applicable to today.
I'm just a small potato. Shakespeare is great. I have a great respect.
People will know Phuntsok in the future. Maybe more than now.
Everyone is unique in their own ways, Go ahead.
I wanted to get personal for a minute and ask you something about when you were young. Can I do that?
2 weeks ago?
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah, young. You have aged. You have aged, my friend.
Really?
No, like when you were little. Like I'm curious about when meditation first came on your radar. Like how old were you?
Beautiful.
When you first said, "Oh, this is something that I want or I can relate to," or when did it become your thing?
Not to timestamp, but I was very religious when I was growing up, and pursued and studied and practiced really hard. And my parents were like that in Buddhist culture. And my friends who are Hindus and Islam and Christianity, they are good in their ways. They are really truthful and true to their practice and their belief. And I was also, mingling with them, hanging out with them. So one day in my practice, in my meditation, I realized that, these are all different tools, different ways to get to this another dimension, this higher dimension, or whatever you want to say, transcending that. There's this path there. There's this thing there to explore. And that's when I realized that, we have to go beyond the religion. And that's when when I did the meditation, that's how I came to know that, I'm stuck at this in this culture. Not stuck in the sense in a negative way. It's just that identified in that role.
How old were you here? Give me a.
And then that's when that's where the meditation grew, and now it's unstoppable because I tasted that. Mm-hmm. And now, taste is not the right word, but I'm trying to say. So I would say
like 10.
No, too young then.
40?
Maybe just when I was in 24, 25.
Oh, okay.
I seriously started meditating, doing serious meditations. But at the same time, I enrolled myself in these meditation retreats in Nepal. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes the guru, the master who's giving these instructions on mindfulness meditation and these retreats for 6 days, 5 days, 7 days, like that, he will have me sit right next to him. And he wants me to be unofficially the interpreter of these different stages of mind in different stages of meditation.
A language interpreter?
A language interpreter.
From what language to what language?
German to French. I'm just kidding.
Sweet.
Tibetan to English, of course.
I just want to be clear for our listeners. They don't know.
Yeah, I didn't. I could translate in Hindi and Nepali, but yeah, language translator. Thank you. It's not translating my master's mind. I'm translating the language.
Yes.
Thank you for the question.
Oh, listener, you have no. It's been a year. It's been a long year. All right.
That's a good question, but that was important.
Thank you.
It's true.
I'm just curious, yeah. And so going back even further, as a young child in India, you were asked to be an English translator for.
I was unofficially when Christian missionaries and these sponsors.
Yeah.
Sponsors. You have these sponsors from the West, visits refugee camps in southern India or somewhere in Tibetan refugee camps. Hey, there's Phuntsok. Come on, he can speak English. And I don't know what I spoke, but how I spoke.
It, or did
I have the pleasure of hanging out with the Ingis, we call it Westerners, and I become.
What do you call them?
The English we say Inji. They couldn't say clearly. The Tibetans will say Inji at the time. It's not. It's another
For
way of saying
English.
English.
Oh, okay.
So for English man or woman, and then I used to translate.
I'm writing that down. NG's slang for English via the Tibetan language. Okay, got it. Thank you.
So those were very rich experience I had, exposure to the Western culture and mind and really Christianity. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then that prepared you to really, that gave you an entrance point into all of these other very large world religions, Christianity, and of course in your own community in India, you were exposed to Hindu believers, people practicing Hinduism, Buddhism naturally, Islam.
Can I give you a very beautiful example of what I encountered during that time? Because I just remembered once. Short story. Once foreigner sponsor, Christian missionary. Mm-hmm. She was very practical. She came to help these Tibetan settlements, these houses, these homes. She wants to provide what do you call this? Gas stove, the cylinder burning, cooking, right?
Like a propane.
Yeah. It's very practical help, and each household will receive one. What do you call?
Like a gas propane tank or something.
Tanks with the stove, full set kitchen.
Cool.
And in the process, she will say, "What's your problem? What can we do? Mm-hmm. How can we help?" This is her, what do you call this speech, like customer service kind of spiel. And I kind of translated that to the one of the Tibetan in that camp, mm-hmm. And she said, "I don't need. If you really want to help me build a nice altar for her gurus or the portrait of deities and in Buddhism, different Buddhas, the images of Buddhas and idols. She wants to keep it very safe, protected, beautiful shrine, kind of. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
And then the lady said, no, this is not a practical help, and this is not sounding, true to what our missions and policies are, and we cannot help. So how do I translate to this lady?
Yeah.
And then the family, Tibetan, she's very naive and very nice lady. I says, look, you're gonna miss out this opportunity. She's providing this to everybody, and this is what she offers.
Yeah.
She's gonna give this money, and then you buy that.
Get the stove. You're saying
and then,
get the stove.
Yeah. And then the belief that moment I found out that the human's belief is so strong.
Yeah.
She's holding on to this so dear to her, heart. That why don't you understand, Phuntsok? Translate that. See how tough I am in a position where it says I really need that. This is my, life and soul. This is what I really need. She can help me. I love cooking with the what do you call this woods mm-hmm. burning. Mm-hmm. She's fire burning with.
Yeah, like a wood-burning stove, like a rounded oven.
She's wanted to do the traditional way of cooking.
She doesn't want to transition to the new thing. She wants to keep using her thing, but she wants to ask for help building the altar.
Wants to use the firewood to cook Buddha things rather than buying that. That moment, I was in that situation. How do I translate this woman, this Tibetan woman?
What did you say?
No, I'm not gonna influence this or that. I am a translator, right?
Yeah.
So my job is to be 100% true to the job that I'm assigned to. I says, this is where she stands. This is what her belief is. If you really wanted to help, I think this is helping her. Mm-hmm. You want to give money. She wants to build this altar. And this lady is so true to her Christian belief, and this is what mission is, that wants to give that practical help, and that one is not helping. So I'm caught up in these two beliefs.
Yeah.
And that was a very eye-opening for me, how much belief, we are so conditioned by our beliefs as well, as much as our thoughts. I keep talking too much, so I should
Where
pause.
where my brain goes is this Christian missionary person who wanted to provide help in the form of a stove was very one-sided in that she was wanting to give something that made her feel helpful, but she was not willing to accommodate the person to whom she was giving.
The intention is pure. Both have the both intention clear.
A little
pure.
bit, but she didn't want to bend what she was doing. She wasn't going to build an altar because it goes against the Christian monotheistic central belief that there is one God. That was part of it, Phuntsok. There is one God, and if you build an altar for this person with your Christian resources, for them to build an altar for many gods, you've just pissed all over your own fire. You just put it out.
I just want to say that I was sandwiched between two of these beliefs.
And I'm not judging her. I'm just saying her perspective was kind of classic pre-1970s missionary mindsets, where you go into a place and you change it. You convert them. Although I don't think she was that harsh. I think she was really looking
she
to
was
serve.
she came with the good intention to really help, to elevate, not alleviate, but
Yes,
lift
elevate. We've
them
had
up
that.
from that situation to
Point
make it a little better.
Point taken. Point taken.
So both are pure intention.
Yeah.
So sometimes in the world, if you are not careful, the crazy things are done with pure intentions. Horrendous things are done with pure intentions. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
We've talked about this before.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then I think we've actually debated editing it out in previous episodes.
I don't know.
The road, there's a saying, the road,
yeah.
road to hell
Yeah.
is paved with good intentions.
Apparently didn't edit it because I don't remember what. But it's okay. I remember that was in a wrong context. You said I remember that. That was.
I was misusing it.
Yeah. You like always do.
Oh, come on now.
But that's why I went into the dream state.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just kidding. Mark,
You don't have to listen to this, listener. Don't take this crap from Phuntsok. Come on.
see this prayer bead here?
On your wrist, he's looking at the deep red colored wooden beads wrapped around his wrists. Yeah. I see.
My friend Daniel Fiskum, Fiskum, fiskumlaw.com or something. He's a friend of mine.
What, you want to underwrite this episode there, Fiskum Law?
No, what I'm trying to say is he questioned he asked me about what are these prayer beads.
Yeah.
So every night as I lie down to sleep, I hold my prayer beads in one hand, and not a single night passes without doing that, Mark. Mm-hmm. So prayer beads are always beside my bed as I settle into, grateful meditation. I recite mantras with closed eyes until I drift into sleep. Mm-hmm. And this is how I enter into the dream state. Or in a Tibetan, we call it dream parto of dream, the intermediate state. Remember, we touched on that.
Oh, yeah.
In the waking state, the dream state, even the dying state, are each unique dimensions of mind. There are 6 intermediate states we touched on the first episode. So for me, dream dimension is just as important as the waking one. When I'm awake, I live in the dimension of the mind shaped by thoughts and daily awareness. Mm-hmm. When I sleep, I enter another subtle dimension of consciousness, quieter, but equally profound level of mind. So that's why I look forward to sleep. It's not just rest, but entry into a space of learning. Mm-hmm. And the dream state always has something to teach, something to learn. How about you? You just crash on bed, just sleep dead?
It depends. I'm mindful about my bedtime. Usually my wife goes to bed before I do, so I get her all tucked in. And then I go back downstairs and I kind of start to close up the house. I check in with my kids if they're awake still. Maybe this is about like 10:30, 11. That's kind of my bedtime. And then I like to go to bed when I have a little bit of, when I'm not quite completely spent, because I like to lay in bed with my arms over the sheets. And I just like to kind of be aware of myself drifting off into sleep. And I don't, there's nothing I'm thinking about. I'm not perseverating. I'm not worrying. Generally, I just I like to slowly drift off. And I like to know that I'm sleeping next to my wife. I just feel like that's kind of a nice, kind of like a companion moment for me. I'm pretty like private and solitary, like generally. I feel like I could kind of do life alone a lot of the time. But in reality, I think I very much appreciate having like a partner, to walk through life with. And so maybe that's TMI for the listener, but I like laying down and sleeping and knowing that I've got someone right next to me that is walking on that road with me. So
sense of security.
A little
sense
bit.
of security is you're attached to.
I think it's grown to be that way. I don't think I was always that way.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying is that the deep exploration we touched, and now I'm being radical here, that's that journey that we needed to undertake. It's a solo journey.
It is, I know.
And we came solo, we leave solo, and the journey continues. And that's why there's this, I keep going back to Buddhism, this Buddhist monks, they call it sanghas. They are not married, they're single, this what they call it, celibate.
A celibate Buddhist monk.
They have these different, they have lots of, you go ahead.
Good.
They have lots of to-dos and not to-do lists.
So do's and don'ts.
Which help them curve from different distractions, and therefore they will be able to go deeper into that stillness, because like a 10 Commandments, and they have those lists of ethics, patience, compassion, and am I going too far? Different disciplines they have to uphold so that they can venture into that journey which we touched. And when I was young, I used to think, okay, it's a very simple life. They don't have to do anything. So it's an easy life, right? They have to do anything. But now I've grown older, become wiser. Oh, that's why they're doing this, so that's the foundation for them. There's a preparation they do, and that's why they will be, Otherwise, I'll speak for myself, engage in all kinds of things, and then I complain. My mind cannot sit still for 1 minute. It's very restless. It's so conditioned, right? Now I'm complaining about stress. My own mind is creating that space, stress. And I couldn't calm my mind because I didn't do those foundational practices that I have to. That's why I find it important to bring this in Tibet USA's mindfulness series to share what I've learned. But it's an option. It's not a rule. It's a tool.
That was a nice quote from mindfulness meditation series that we just did. Remember, these are tools, not rules.
Sometimes, Mark, when we do this podcast like this, I say it. I leave it to the spacious, this presence, and things roll like this. And then when we walk out from this library, we feel good because something else took over from us, even though we are the one talking, but there is another influence that, I don't know, I'm getting too much into the woo-woo stuff now.
No, it's good. Keep on going.
Any questions?
I have a lot of questions.
Go ahead.
No, I like how this is kind of all coming full circle. You know, the Shakespeare passage that I read earlier has to do with different stages of life of a man specifically in this case, and I think he had 7 stages of life. And you're saying, and there are 6 stages of Pardo, right?
Yes. Not stages, different kinds of parthos, different state of intermediate state. But once, sound like I've been there, but these different states are different dimensions and has different, that's what I read. And in dream state, what I experienced is a different dimension than in the waking state. Like that, when you're dead, you're in a different dimension. So we keep on going, then it's going to be the repeat of the same episode that we did. What I'm trying to say is these are not stages, but same one. But all of that go beyond, transcend that, and then they will say you free yourself from that. They call it liberation in Tibetan, enlightenment. I don't know how far you want to go into that, but this is what. Wait a minute. Go ahead with the Shakespeare.
Oh, it's done. I'm just saying that's one of those connections, I think, because he was talking about these different sort of phases of life that people go through, and I think that very loosely compares to different pardos in our existence, and that's one of those kind of neat cosmic things that I didn't plan on reading Shakespeare today.
In the coming days, I wanted to touch on 9 stages of settling the mind. Again, this is a very unique approach from Tibet USA mindfulness series, because even though it looks, what are you talking about? But there's subtle stages that once, if you are not clear on these, and the true meditation will not take its roots, and it's not going to be, stable, and it's so.
Are there times you sit down and prepare your space and your mind to meditate, and it just doesn't work for you?
I every day, when early in the morning, the first thing I do is sit in meditation, not touching the phone, not a single day misses. Getting up in meditation and sitting quiet and watch my mind, and then that's how I love to share this to you here, that I'm not perfect, and knowing the imperfections, knowing the loopholes. If I share that, maybe this will help others in the same journey. So when we sit quiet in meditation, and mind takes its own journey, right? Takes goes in a different plane, fly in different area, and then come back like, what? Where you been, right? And the body's still sitting there. Mind went off all different places and came back, and then that's why I emphasize, Mark, that we have to use different tools. Tools will help the
bring it
mantra
back.
chanting. I have a statue of Tara. It's one of the deity. I have that. I have all kinds of statues. So all kind of statues they have their own different background and interpretations. And I form those interpretations, different read background of what those Buddhas are. Or the Buddha of compassion, I'll be chanting a mantra of a compassion Buddha with the prayer beads and focus on that. And at some point, I have to realize, I have to know that I'm using this to go into the deeper dimensions of what they call it in the state of, it's a big mouth of me to say this, but empty nature of the things. That I have to see myself, oh, I'm here, chanting this, visualizing this. Oh, and then I see the empty nature of the things. I have to see that even I, who is this, is not there. All these are interwoven, interdependent, nothing permanent. That deeper dimension is not easy, and that's when the meditation starts. Until then, it's just a spiritual entertainment, hitting this singing bowl here, chanting this, all of that, and so identified with that. But those are important tools. That's why you have to chant something, not just one tool, but you have to use whatever tools that you find it useful for you, depending on one's own mental disposition.
And cultural background.
There you go.
Right? Mm-hmm. Can I read you something?
Sure.
From a book that was recommended to me by a guest that we are having on our show very shortly. We are going to be visited by a Lutheran pastor. Lutheran is one of the Christian denominations. Her name is Sarah Scherschlicht, and she is an ordained minister, an ordained pastor in a local church.
Looking forward to.
Yes, and she said, Mark, you should really check out this book by, I know you know the author, and help me if I'm not saying his name right, Thich Nhat Hanh.
Sounds right.
Okay, and he is a Vietnamese-born Buddhist teacher.
Right.
Who's at this point in 2025, we are still fortunate enough to have him alive on our planet. So he's still teaching, but he wrote this book called Living Buddha, Living Christ. About 20 years ago, he wrote this book. And Sarah, when I was talking to her about our podcast, how we compare our experiences growing up as Buddhist, growing up as a Christian, societal comparisons, she said, Mark, you really got to read this book. So,
I haven't read the book, just to plant a flag there first.
Nice. Well, you're going to hear a little bit of it now. So let me just read this to you, and this kind of fits into what we were saying, and then I want to know what you think about this. This is from Thich Nhat Hanh's Living Buddha, Living Christ. When you touch someone who authentically represents a tradition, you not only touch his or her tradition, you also touch your own. This quality is essential for dialogue. When participants are willing to learn from each other, dialogue takes place just by their being together. When those who represent a spiritual tradition embody the essence of their tradition, just the way they walk, sit, and smile speaks volumes about the tradition. For dialogue to be fruitful, we need to live deeply our own tradition, at the same time listen deeply to others. Through the practice of deep looking and deep listening, we become free, able to see the beauty and values in our own and others' tradition.
Beautiful. I close my eyes and contemplating on the words you read by Thich Nhat Hanh. Without mentioning compassion, he mentioned compassion there. That's the compassion. That's to me my interpretation. You're asking me, or you're not? You're asking me to say something about.
Yeah.
Comment on that.
Tell me more
my,
about
my side about
the
what
compassion.
I never read this, but this is the first time. What I'm trying to say is, he said everything. What he said to me, he's truly a compassionate being. He put. Am I going too far? His way of seeing the things, his way of looking at the things, and taking life into all of these into consideration. He was perceiving it from a place of understanding and trying to know the other person, what truly the other person is going through and what he embodies, and totally, fully connect with that. And then also see yourself, how you're seeing it. And that's where you're connecting. Then most of the time when we are talking, one is listening, one is not truly listening. It's already preparing an answer to the question or the culture. We have a lot of questions. One time I was trying to have a conversation with a friend of mine who said, "What is this meditation thing? Oh no, what is this? Just prove it to me that how it works, and then I'll buy what you said." I says, "Look, I'm not selling anything to you, first of all, and second of all, you're saying whatever you said is saying from the state of mind."
Yeah.
And this thing that I'm trying to explain to you and pointing at you is
going the other way.
It's not. You're not in the state of mind. It's in the different dimension and different state. And that's what I was trying to say, is that this path is not explored much, and that's why I'm trying to share that this part.
Yeah.
When you are on this side, and you are trying to understand the other side, but in this case, he's on both sides.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yep. What I love about it, and I'll tell you why this speaks to me, is when he closes up this idea. He says, through the practice of deep looking and deep listening, which is, I think, what we try to do here on our show, we become free, able to see the beauty and values in our own and others' tradition. And
beautiful. Thank you for reading that.
If I could share with you real quick something, I don't know if I've shared with our listeners before. I think I've maybe have told you, but that's a really important passage to me, because that's the reason we're doing Tibet USA. And it was about a year ago. This would be maybe about June or July of 2024. I was having a little bit of a crisis of, I don't want to say faith, because I think the past 20 years for me have been a crisis of faith, where I've really questioned what I believe. But in June or July of 2024, I was having a very tangible moment of, what do I really believe? And I've been avoiding that. I had been avoiding that question for years, because I didn't want to accept all of the baggage of Christianity, the capital C Christianity, the Christians that are out in the world that are doing things that to me don't reflect anything in the ways of Jesus. And that's maybe a different podcast. But that was preventing me from really wanting to be Christian. And when you came up to me and we started talking about doing our podcast, I'm like, great, this is my moment. This is my moment to really find out what I believe. And at the time we started our podcast, I was kind of ready to jump ship on being a Christian. And our time together has shown me that I don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I don't think it's even possible to do that. And when I say that, I mean, I can't take Mark Schirmacher's experience growing up in a Christian household, in a Christian culture, and considering himself Christian for many years. I can't take that and throw it all out and say, well, Christianity isn't for me, because it's a part of how I think and a part of how I'm wired and a part of the stories from the Bible are so much a part of my consciousness. And I realized through your talking and your teaching during these times together that you don't have to abandon or negate your own tradition to accept someone else's.
Adopt.
Or to, and I think it came in a podcast where you and I where I was really struggling with something you were talking about, maybe the mind and you're like, Mark, after our recording, you're like, Mark, don't try to come at it from a Buddhist, because you're not. You're a Christian, so don't forget where you came from. Just try to learn about it. Don't sweat it, kind of, And I know I'm not saying it eloquently, but it was a real turning point for me where I'm like, holy shit, I am a Christian. And even if I don't like what the Christians who say they're Christians are doing out there, which there's plenty of, I can still be a Christian in a way that Jesus was a Christian. I'm going to feed the poor, and I'm going to love my neighbor, and I'm going to love God with all my heart, all my strength, and all my mind, and that's all I'm going to worry about. I'm not going to worry about, all the people out there, all the other people. I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to double down on being the best Christian I can be, but I also am insatiably curious and in wonder of all of these other belief structures that are out there, And I don't think it has to be one or the other. I think there's room for all of it. So the Thich Nhat Hanh passage from that book and our time together has been really great for me to accept my own past and kind of carefully move forward. So
Thank you. Beautiful.
yeah, on that note, Phuntsok, I think we leave this conversation and come back next time.
Thank you, Mark, for putting up with me so far.
Well, thank you for putting up with my long-winded speech there. I'm looking at the screen where it's been recording, and there's this huge line of no talking that you've had, and I've been taking it all for like 7 minutes. So
that's very un-Phuntsok of. Anyway, thank you for sharing your beautiful thoughts here, and thank you for this journey. It's our journey, and may this journey, when we share this on podcast, on social media, help others in their journey as well. Mm-hmm. But I do want our subscribers to put comments and share that to others so that we know how we are doing.
Please.
And then we'll definitely take a time to, give a shout out to those who share our podcast on their social media, be it on a Facebook or Instagram or wherever. Thank you.
Yeah. On that note, thank you for joining us on Tibet USA. We will see you shortly.
Thank you.